What is going on, everybody? It's the Franz, and we're here for an AEW on TNT review for the Go Home Show to Revolution, February 26, 2020. This show had a fantastic opening of this show. The 30-minute Iron Man match. This was a great match. We also had a weigh-in, which I honestly don't know why we didn't have a contract signing for the AEW World Championship. They went with a weigh-in. Shona, Yuka Sakazaki, Big Swole, and Hikaru Shida in a four-way match. Let me see here. We also had Jurassic Express versus the Inner Circle as well. This show started off hot, continued to stay hot for the first two matches, the Iron Man match and the six-man tag match, and then kind of came back down to a slow, fine pace. This show did not top last week at all. Last week is still the best show of AEW they've had so far, but this opening match was absolutely the best match in AEW's history so far. This was a match of the year candidate. This was definitely something that Kenny Omega, since he's been in AEW, there has been criticism of Kenny Omega. It's just felt like Kenny Omega has lost what made him special in New Japan. He would go out there 30, 40, 50 minute, 60-minute wars with like Kazuchika Okada and others. And he's come here and he hasn't kept this going up until this match. This match, even though it was 30 minutes, and my thoughts on a 30-minute Iron Man match is that most of the time, it just doesn't feel like you get enough time. An hour is usually the norm for an Iron Man match. This was 30 minutes. I can understand why they did it. This match should have been the main event, as in the final match on the show. I understand why they opened the show with it. Because you want to have a hot opener, and two, with AEW's problems with them, like their timing. Like, they still haven't got the timing done when it comes to having a big match in the main event. Like, we've had main event tag team matches that it feels like when we get to the end of the match, they're hurrying up because, oh shit, we're running out of time. We don't want to have to go to TV time remaining. This was brought up first, and this was the best match to start up with. They lock up, Pac's backed into the ropes, and Omega gives him a clean break. Both trade some counters, shove each other, and then trade shots in the middle of the ring. Omega with a basement drop kick, but eats a super kick. Omega looks for a one-winged angel, but Page backs him into a corner. Commentary noting Matt and Nick Jackson backing up Omega. Page is nowhere to be seen. JR mentioned this about 2 or 3 times during this match. Pac was sent out to the floor. Omega with a big flip over the top, which was his Rise of the Terminator stuff, having the Young Bucks smack on the mat for him. Back in the ring, Katora Crusher by Omega, followed by a couple chops, 5 minutes down. Nothing's happened yet. Omega with a rolling fireman's carry. Misses the second rope moonsault, though he recovers. Pac launched into the corner. Snapdragon suplex. Pac rolls out to the floor. Omega follows, and they swing away on the floor. Pac on the apron, moonsault, caught in midair, but Pac turns it into a tornado DDT, and Omega's head looks like it hits right where the padding stops around the ring, and the rest of the floor, like the flooring's at. It just looked like where they hit, it was right at that line. They work their way into the ring for the second rope. Omega fights Pac off, headbutting him to the mat. Pac runs back up and hits a brainbuster. Not just a brainbuster, a super brainbuster. They were all both on the top rope, and he pulls him up and just yanks him down into a brainbuster. That was the first jump out of your seat moment of the match for me. There was a couple more in this match, but this was definitely the first one. This looked sickening. And like Kenny Omega is sitting there, and you just look at him. He's probably got this thought in his head that I have a big match on Saturday. Maybe I shouldn't have taken this 30-minute Iron Man match tonight, because I'm going to be sore tomorrow, Friday, and then the Saturday. So, let's see, where am I at? At the Brainbusters, where we were at, yeah. From the top of the back up, lands a shotgun dropkick, cover 2. Pac with a side headlock. Omega is up and fights back with a couple punches. Each wrestler avoids a strike. Pac with a slingshot cutter, pin attempt for 2. 10 minutes have gone by. Kenny still 0-0. Crowd with a "You're a bastard" chant as Pac continues to beat up Kenny. Omega finally lands some offense with a big boot, sending Pac flying into the corner. Back and forth strikes. Tiger Driver 98 by cut onto Pac, but only gets a 2 count. Crowd is jumping at every single false finish. Many are starting to stand for a couple of minutes. Omega tries for the one-wing angel, but no. But Omega repositions Pac and hits a suplex with a bridge, close 2 count. But Pac put into the corner, looks for a V-trigger in the back of the head and hits it. One-wing angel, he goes to the second rope. Looks like he's going to go into hit the one-wing angel from the top. So I'm sitting there thinking, please don't die. Please don't die or don't get hurt. But no. But Pac reverses it into a beautiful sunset flip powerbomb, but doesn't get the pinfall there. Pac then gets dropped face first onto the turnbuckle, Snapdragon suplex, V-trigger cover 2. Crowd thought that was going to be it, but Pac goes to the floor, gets a chair, smacks Omega into the side of the head. Referee calls for the bell, and for the first time in AEW's history, we have had All Out, Double or Nothing, Fighter Fest, Fight for the Fallen, All Out, Full Gear, many shows on TNT. And this is the first ever disqualification in AEW history. Finally, a DQ has been instituted in AEW. I have been calling it for weeks, if not months, that we need to see a match end in a disqualification. And this, honestly, I think was the perfect way to get DQs added into the mix. So, Kenny Omega's up 1-0. Pac smacks Kenny in the back of the head. Again, Young Bucks check on Omega, tries to get him up. Time pauses after the first fall to give him a 30-minute rest because that's the rules that they do. It starts back up. Pac with a drop kick, climbs up, hits the Black Arrow 1, 2, 3, and the devious Pac has tied this up with a cheap shot, 2 cheap shots, and a Black Arrow. Just 13 minutes left to go, and we get the one and only split-screen picture-in-picture commercial for this match. Which, that's fantastic. I was hoping we'd go completely commercial-free, but hey, they gotta pay the bills, they gotta make money, so hell, why not? While that was happening, Pac was just beating up on Omega the entire time outside. He looks for another Black Arrow when we come back, but Omega rolls out of the ring. Pac keeps beating him up and taunts him. The Young Bucks a bit, then eventually gets back in the ring and trades strikes. Both are up on the apron. Pac hits a nasty... I don't know who thought this was a good idea. Have you ever, have you ever taken a back... have you ever fallen on your back and you just, not trying to... you're, on the swing set when you're a kid and you swing... and you let go and you just fall on your back. This dude, it looked like they were on the apron. It looked like Pac was going to hit a suplex onto the apron. No. This motherfucker right here goes and hits the nastiest, most brutal Falcon Arrow I have ever seen to the floor. Crowd chants, holy shit. It does get muted, which I don't know why. Maybe TNT's getting tired of hearing the word shit on TV. I couldn't tell you. Holy shit, that looked like hell. 10 minutes ago, Omega climbs back in the ring, and Pac with a dropkick sends him into the referee in the ringside physician, Dr. Sampson, who was the guy who also saved Jerry King Lawler's life back in the day. Referee is down. Bryce Remsburg looked like he was killed. Commentating noting Pac's DQ earlier is the match for the first ever to happen in the company. Pac sets up a table on the outside and brings Omega over. Referee is still down. Pac heads up top and gets up at the 7-minute mark. He takes a moment, and I'm thinking, usually when a wrestler sits there and, stands up and is just taking a moment to, before they hit their move, that the other person's going to move or the knees are going to get up. Didn't happen here. It's a beautiful shooting star press through the table. As the table's breaking, Pac's head comes back up, and a piece of the table flops up, whap, and then he falls back down. Everybody's down. Referee's back up. Now he does the 10 count. I was about ready to tweet out first DQ and first count out in AEW history, but that did not happen as Omega barely beats 10. Pac goes for the back arrow, but Omega gets his knees up. Just another 5 minutes. V-trigger to Pac's face. Plants back, cover 2 for 4 minutes. Another V-trigger lands and one wing angle gets reversed into a poison Rana. 3 minutes left. Pac lands a tornado DDT. Locks in the brutalizer. Omega is fighting. He's in this thing for about a minute. Gets to the ropes. 2 minutes left. Pac goes for another brutalizer. Omega fights it off. 1 minute left. Pac gets a more modified version of it in. Omega rolls him over for a 2 count, but Pac keeps it locked in. 30 seconds remain. Pac keeps it locked in, trying to hang on as time expires. Tied 1-1. Pac is pissed. He wants to win this thing. He wanted this to be the decider. And what does he do? He takes out the referee and kills him. Just as he does that, Justin Roberts says this match will continue under sudden death rules. We're going all the way back to WrestleMania 12 when Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart went to sudden death, which saw no pinfalls, no submissions in that match until the end. Omega with a ripcord V-trigger. Aubrey Edwards runs out to the match with a huge pop. Aubrey Edwards is a huge star in AEW. Here's the difference between WWE and AEW. WWE, if you're a referee in WWE, you don't have a name. You don't have an identity. You are just a referee. Aubrey Edwards is the most over referee in this company. Omega with a huge knee to his face, cover 2, looks for a one-wing angel, hits it, 1, 2, 3. Kenny Omega is your winner. What a fucking match. I have not seen many Kenny Omega matches in New Japan. I have seen some. I did see the one from Wrestle Kingdom when I believe he was challenging Okada for that 60-minute draw that they had, I believe it was at Wrestle Kingdom. This was the closest we have seen Kenny Omega to his New Japan self. This was fantastic. He even had the Young Bucks by his side, as he would do in New Japan. This was by far the best opener they have had on TNT the entire time they have been on here. Since October, even that Cody Rhodes and Sammy Guevara match could not top this. Now, before we go on, I'm just doing everything I can in this on this podcast. I hope you guys will support me. Hit that subscribe button. I would love to get to 200 subscribers before we get to WrestleMania. We're at 143 right now. Also, put some comments in the comment section below what you thought of this match and the rest of the show on this. I do answer each. Unless it's really, really stupid, somebody like just talking trash because they want to, or wants to say something stupid just for the hell of it, I usually answer any and all comments on my channel. The reason most of my comments, if you look back and say, oh, he doesn't really do that, is because last year I switched my channel. I did a couple of things on my channel, and my comment replies did not transfer over to this channel as it is right now. But make sure to hit that subscribe button, comment down below, and let me know what you thought of that match. That match was awesome. Post-match, Tony Schiavone is talking with Pac on stage. After his match, Schiavone asked Pac about all the talking he did and from him to lose to Omega. Pac thinks Schiavone is trying to mock him, and he's just yelling at Schiavone. He's like just getting pissed at Schiavone. By the way, this is the only match that Tony Schiavone did commentary for the entire night. The rest of it was Taz on commentary, which was a thumbs up to me. Nothing against Schiavone, but it was great to hear Taz with JR and Excalibur. All of a sudden, Orange Cassidy walks out, walks at the Pac, and takes his sunglasses off, getting serious for a minute. Pac drops him, kicks him, and storms off pissed. I thought coming into this match, Pac was going to win because Kenny Omega has a title match this week. However, Pac at the time did not. And I figured with Jon Moxley most likely winning the AEW World Championship this coming Saturday, I figured that with Jon Moxley winning the title, this would be Pac's one step closer to becoming the number one contender to Jon Moxley going into Double or Nothing. But they can hold that off because we do have about 2.5 months before Double or Nothing. So, Omega wins, and Pac is already moving on to his next feud But when will that match happen? We will talk about that later. Lexi Nair wants to talk with Chris Jericho. J.K. will answer the door. It's the pain. They went with a new catchy name for the Inner Circle tonight for this weigh-in. Because usually when you have weigh-ins in boxing and MMA, these guys come with their posse, their group, the groupies, whatever you want to call them. So Jericho decides we're going to go and call it the Painmaker Posse. Could you imagine if the Inner Circle was called the Painmaker Posse from the beginning? How much of a laughingstock that would have been? Oh boy. Sammy Guevara, Santana Ortiz versus Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, and Marco Stunt. The Inner Circle has their own theme now. The last time the Inner Circle had a match as the Inner Circle, they used Judas for Chris Jericho's theme, Judas. This time they actually used a new theme, which is not too bad, and it was good. So it was great to see that they have their own theme music, which is good. So this was a continuation of a hot start for this entire company, for the entire show. That first match, it was like, how the fuck are you going to follow a 30-minute Iron Man match where the crowd is up on their feet for the majority of this match? I don't know how you could follow it. But somehow, these boys went out there and did that. Now, Marco Stunt, you have to give this guy some props. Last night on Dark, he took on Jimmy Havoc, which Jimmy Havoc is looking like he is building to a feud on Dark with Luther, but that's a different story for a different time. So, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and Marco Stunt took these guys on. Quick start, Jurassic Express taking control of the things at first, Inner Circle fighting back, getting rid of the Luchasaurus, Stunt with an Hurricane Rana on Ortiz and Santana. Guevara flies in and hits a springboard double stomp on the Stunt. Santana leaps off Ortiz's back and hits a moonsault. Santana is still wearing his eye patch. And then we go to commercial break. This one was not in picture-in-picture. But we go from a match that had a very hot, like the 35-plus minutes or whatever they did for that match was hot, and everybody went out there and just kicked ass and took names with those two guys in that match. Now, this match started off hot and continued to keep the momentum of the show going. Luchasaurus finally gets tagged in after Marco Stunt gets a huge beating. He throws bombs on everyone on the other team. Plants Santana, hits a chokeslam on a standing moonsault on Ortiz. Guevara with the slaps on the back of the head. He tries for it again, no. Jungle Boy and Stunt get involved with some strikes. Triple super kick, which it wasn't a triple super kick. It was, you had Guevara in the corner. You had Stunt go right across. You had Luchasaurus on one side and Jungle Boy on the other side. Super kick from Jungle Boy. Double drop kick from Marco Stunt. And a big boot from Luchasaurus at the same time. That was kind of funny. Let's see here. Luchasaurus to the cover, but Santana breaks it up. Jungle Boy's fighting off Santana and Ortiz. Ortiz mistakenly hits Santana, but Dio get hit double enzuigiris on him. Or running shooting star press by Guevara. Cover, Stunt jumps off the top rope and hits and breaks it up. Multiple guys end up on the floor. Luchasaurus with a moonsault off the apron, taking out everybody else, including Marco Stunt, who inadvertently ate the boots of Luchasaurus. So, Jungle Boy is in the ring with Guevara. Guevara grabs the slapjack, which is the loaded sock, but out of nowhere, Darby Allin comes out and pulls the sock away, just swinging around. Jungle Boy hits a snap Hurricane Rana on a distracted Sammy Guevara. 1, 2, 3. Jurassic Express are your winners. Now, usually I'd be like, well, no way Guevara takes a pinfall on this because he's going to match with Darby Allin on Saturday. But this was a babyface fuck on the heel because Sammy Guevara was distracted by his opponent on Sunday, so that doesn't hurt Sammy Guevara as much as it would have been if he just got beat clean. This wasn't a clean victory in the end. Recap of Cody and MJF's feud before the two will meet this Saturday at Revolution. Then we go into Best Friends with Orange Cassidy, who is still picking some teeth up after getting his ass knocked out by Pac earlier in the night. Against the Butcher, and with the Bunny. This was, like I said, we had the first two matches were hot opener. Second match was a hot short match. This match went and brought the crowd down a little bit. The Butcher and the Blade, Orange Cassidy's over like Rover. I don't know what the hell to do about this guy. This guy is just one of those guys that anything he does just works. He hasn't cut a promo yet. He hasn't done anything that pisses anybody off. And it's funny because this guy is a comedic, is comedy. He's a comedy duo. This guy's a comedic character. And the dude is over as fuck. I don't know what else to say about it. This guy is just over. Taylor gets knocked off the apron as the bell rings. Butcher and Blade beat up Trent. Dropkick side suplex combo on Trent. Blade with some chops in the corner. Trent fights back with some of his own crowd with a best friends chant. Blade powerbombs Trent onto the ropes, bouncing him back into the ring. Taylor is able to get the tag. Rising knee strike, soul food, half and half suplex by the best friends. Butcher, but by the way, Kansas City was fucking awesome tonight. The crowd just brought it the entire fucking show. Of course, they did a pan over that you could see the entire crowd practically, except for you could hardly see what was going on behind Hardcam. But it looked like they were full, if not complete, if not mostly full. So, Kansas City, hell of a job. I want to see this in Denver as well. Butcher and Blade take control as we go to break. Taylor finally finds the window to try to bring Trent into the match. Tornado DDT on the Blade, sending him to the floor. Trent tries to leap out, caught in midair, and set into the barricade. Blade does it again, but Trent spears him. Cassidy and Bunny both throw into the ring. Cassidy goes to put his hands in his pocket, but she stops him and just throws his hands down, takes his shades, and puts them on. He then takes his hands and puts his hands in his pockets, ducks her punch, and hold on. She goes for a low blow, my bad. He blocks it and then takes the bunny ears and puts them on his head. Crowd is going ballistic for this spot. I was hoping she would go for the low blow and he'd bring her in and just give her that big comedic kiss that you would see somebody do, but I guess that's not Orange Cassidy's way. Puts them on, puts his hands in the pocket, ducks the punch, avoids the Blade, who almost runs into the bunny. Suicide dive onto the Butcher. Referee got the bunny out of the ring. Best friends with the strong zeroed on the Blade. 1, 2, 3. Best friends win this match. And then it was announced that Pac and Orange Cassidy at Revolution. This will be Orange Cassidy's first singles match in AEW history. Giovanni asked the best friends about his rise in the tag division. Taylor says they're on the way up, but in regards to Cassidy's match against Pac, he's gonna try. The joke is on Pac because on Saturday, Cassidy, he's going to try. And the crowd with the he's gonna try chant. This was fantastic. And Shivani's like, what about it, Cassidy? And he just gives the halfway thumbs up. And that was that. That is going to be interesting because about 5 or so weeks later, Cassidy takes on Minoru Suzuki at Bloodsport. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Cassidy and Pac on Saturday. I was loving this show. Was just a lot of fun. NXT, again, they don't have a takeover till Tampa, which is going to be in November, in April, the beginning of April. They could use something in March, like a big takeover type show. I know they're not going to do that because it's just one of those things, but NXT has no shot against AEW because AEW is just so hot. It's getting up there. The buzz is coming around. They looked packed tonight. Kansas City was just a rocking joint. This show was good. Great. Good if not great. But there was the Fatal 4-Way, Yuka Sakazaki, Big Swole, Hikaru Shida, and Shana. Now, Yuka Sakazaki hadn't been seen in a while, came out back and beat Britt Baker to find herself at the number 4 position on the AEW Women's Rankings. Big Swole, I don't think was ready to come off of AEW Dark yet, and we still have Ishida is, I think, one of the best women in the AEW Women's Division, and Shauna we just haven't seen enough of. I think we need to see more of her. And again, where the fuck is Sadie Gibbs? We have not seen her outside of a match in a segment on Dark. Where the fuck is she? So, Yuka Sakazaki, I don't know what the fuck her shtick is, but during the beginning of this match, she's just cheering these other three on as they're wrestling. She's being completely different. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just her shtick and her gimmick and the way she acts is everything Riho could never be. She is just charismatic. She has just something about her that works. And honestly, I think AEW should be using her a lot more than they do. I can't even get into how this match went because every time I want to try and say something, Yuka Sakazaki would be doing something that I can't even like. She was sitting there, her legs crossed at the beginning of the match before the match started, hunched over like she was in a ball. The three of the women are trying to do a test of strength. She comes in between them and starts kicking each and every one of them. This wasn't a bad match. It wasn't a good match. Just Swole's not there yet. Yuka Sakazaki, I don't know what to think about her. She's definitely she's something special, obviously. She's something way different than you see anyone else doing. Sheeta's awesome. Shauna, I don't think we've seen enough of her either, even after that tables match with the now women's champion. Just so much that the women's division hasn't shown us yet. Swole eats a running meet 1, 2, 3, and Hikaru Shida is your winner. Now, when it comes to Big Swole, I don't know if it's going to happen, but I feel like they could do something with Big Swole to where she keeps racking up losses. And she's this big babyface character and everything right now. The only thing really good about Big Swole right now is that her entrance music is something that you see people rocking out to every single week. Now, maybe eventually in like a tag team match on Dark or on AEW's TV show on TNT, she gets one too many losses and just snaps and just goes off on her tag team partner and just becomes this big badass heel. I don't know. So after this, Evil Uno, Grayson, the Dark Order. Evil Uno says that at Revolution they will teach Frank Kazarian and Scorpio Sky that a lesson, and then he says, Christopher Daniels, you will find out that you are now, and I quote, obsolete. These bastards are doing everything they can to tease that Broken Matt Hardy will be coming out soon. They're teasing that this is going to be the Exalted One. It's not going to happen on Saturday because Matt Hardy's contract does not come up till the next day. So I don't like if Matt Hardy's not coming to AEW. These teasers are just getting ridiculous. Like the Exalted One, if it's not Matt Hardy, it's definitely not Christopher Daniels. That's a red herring by fucking far. We'll have to wait and see. Just don't tease us like this if it's not Matt Hardy, which apparently Matt Hardy's been offered to go to NXT instead of leaving the company, which why would Matt Hardy want to go to NXT? That's below Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy doesn't need to go to NXT. It's not going to help him. Yes, he wants creativity. He wants full creative over his character, not, oh, well, I'll have some creativity, but I still have to do scripted promos. Screw that. Let that guy go to somewhere else. Jim Ross did a sit-down interview with the World Tag Team Champions Kenny Omega and Adam Page, as well as their challengers, the Young Bucks, earlier in the day. He asked the group if they thought this would be the match they would have a year ago. Matt says he's very surprised to see Page and Omega to be champions, considering they were almost always singles competitors. Matt felt like a veteran tag team like themselves would hold the titles. Omega says it's just kind of happened in situational that they're the champions. Page questioned Omega, saying it sounds like it was just an accident that they were champions. Matt points out Page bringing a drink to the interview. Ross wonders why Page is uncomfortable. Seems like he's moving around a lot. Page says he's fine and isn't uncomfortable. Matt then says even though they are friends, they're also competitors in the ring. Matt says ultimately they are the best in the world and they are taking those titles. Matt says they will shake hands and wear the elite because the elite is bigger than the titles, is what Matt said. Matt Page is like, what did you say was bigger than the titles? They're like the elite. He says he tried to walk out of the elite months ago, but you wouldn't let him. Matt says they made Page a star after bringing him and being the elite. Matt says Page was a jobber at Ring of Honor, and they made him a star by bringing him into the Bullet Club. Page says says the tag titles were the biggest achievement of his career, and doesn't appreciate Matt and Nick trying to take them away from him. Omega's like, it's just the nature of the business. They're competitors. They're going to try, like, everyone's going to try and do that. So, and Paige is like, you know what? My drink is empty. I'm out of here. And the Bucks are obviously one happy about this. Maybe wasn't happy about this. If Paige isn't turning on Kenny Omega and the Elite on Saturday, I would be absolutely shocked. The Bucks are going to win the tag team titles, and we're going to go from there. Paige is turning heel, plain and simple. Big news today for AEW as the Mohawk Killer, apparently is his name. The American Psycho, Lance Archer, is coming to AEW. And apparently will be making his debut next week on the show. I can't wait to see what this guy does. His last match that I saw was at New Year's Dash, I believe. But before that was 2 nights ago. It was 2 nights before that. When he and Jon Moxley battled for the U.S. Championship for the New Japan's IWGP U.S. Heavyweight Championship in a Texas death match, or a death match, a quote-unquote death match, which saw Moxley beat Archer to reclaim the New Japan Pro Wrestling's IWGP U.S. Heavyweight Championship. This guy, of course, started out in TNA Impact Wrestling as Dallas. He then became Lance Hoyt, came to WWE as Lance Archer, and has held that name since then. He was something. He did something he did some things in TNA. Went to WWE, was a flash in the pan, didn't do a damn thing there. He was just a big guy who did nothing. Went to Japan, became a big, huge star, and now he's coming to AEW to burn the motherfucker down. And I cannot wait to see what Lance Archer does from next week on. Time for the AEW World Champion Chris Jericho and Jon Moxley weigh-in. Why this was happening, I don't know. Tony Schiavone brings out Gary Michael Capetta, who will host the weigh-in. Moxley's out first, and Jericho, who walks down with him. In a circle. Kansas City again brought it when it came to singing Judas, as this was the loudest I have heard it since the Jericho Cruise. Champion gets in the ring. Capetta asks Jericho to step up first. Jericho tells Capetta, based on his delivery, it's no wonder WCW went out of business. He calls him a weird little man and says the champion always goes last. The ring is filled with photographer, security, some ring girls, which I don't know why we have 2 women in like ring girl attire. This isn't an MMA or boxing affair, so why? Moxley weighs in at 234 pounds. Jericho takes his sweet-ass time, taunts the crowd, says Henry Mahomes or something like that, or Andy Mahomes sucks. It's on the Chiefs fans who started cracking out their war chant that they do when they're at a Chiefs game. Jericho then takes him off, gets in Moxley's face. Moxley headbutts him, busts him wide the fuck open. Inner Circle immediately takes down Moxley. Dustin Rhodes runs out and clotheslines Hager out of the ring, and they go out to the crowd, falling all the way to the back. Hager with a low blow to Rhodes into the wall with the Dippin' Dots, and then into the Dippin' Dots stand. Not the Dippin' Dots stand, Dippin' Dots. Crowd with a Dippin' Dots chant. Darby Allin runs down to the ring with the skateboard and drops Santana. Guevara lands a huge running knee and gets in the ring, smacks the skateboard over Allen's head, cracking it in half. Moxley still trying to fight back, drops one tease. Only Moxley and Jericho are standing in the ring. Moxley goes for the Death Rider, but Santana with a low blow. Judas Effect, Death Rider by Jericho onto the scale, and that puts while holding the title, he puts his foot on the fallen Moxley, and that's how the show goes off the air. This was a good, fun time. These 2 guys are going to go out there and beat the brakes off each other on Saturday. I can't wait to see what this show does. It was a good show. Like I said, it felt like Yes, they started off hot. And yes, that if it wasn't for this weigh-in, which honestly they didn't need to do, they could have did a contract signing. But I guess the last time they did one of these pay-per-view events, they did a contract signing, so they didn't want to do another one. But the weigh-in was absolutely, I think, just kind of pointless. No reason to do it. But AEW, yeah, hell of a fucking show. NXT, I know NXT is not even really trying anymore to battle AEW. They're just going out there doing their own thing, WWE version instead of NXT version. But AEW, again, knocked it out of the park. Was it better than last week? No, not by a long shot. Last week just felt like a pay-per-view. Tonight felt like this felt like a go-home show. This felt like it was a show building up to being the last stop before a pay-per-view. And that's the way it should have felt. Raw and SmackDown, it's like you have a go-home show happen. Like you had a go-home show this past Monday for Super Letdown, which is going to happen tomorrow, which I am abstaining from. The only thing going up tomorrow for me is a review for NXT. Maybe. I don't know. I'm weighing my choices on doing NXT anymore because it just doesn't really do anything for me anyway. But like you had that go-home show on Monday, and if you were on the fence of watching Super Letdown, this show on this past Monday did not give any reason for you to watch the show on Thursday. Now this show, if you want hype for Revolution before this show happened, I guarantee you're hyped for going for Revolution going now. This was awesome. And I can't wait to see what happens on Saturday. We will have a review going up that afternoon. But before we get to that, we have 7 matches, I believe we have. And we're going to go over all 7 right now. My predictions for AEW's Revolution on Leap Day, February 29th, 2020. We have, again, 7 matches. 7 big matches. Every single match. Here's the thing. Takeovers are the only other thing that I watch pay-per-view-wise that I feel like every match has a meaning. Monday Night Raw. Well, the Elimination Chamber coming up for SmackDown and Raw. The Women's Elimination Chamber for Raw is pointless. You have 6 women. 4 of them have no shot. 2 of them are going to come down to Asuka and Shayna Baszler, and Shayna's obviously winning. That match is pointless. You have Pac versus Orange Cassidy. That's going to have meaning to people. Chris Statlander versus Nyla Rose. You could give the title to Chris Statlander and people would go ballistic. Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara has meaning. Dustin versus Jake Hager has been building since before Full Gear. The tag team title match, Omega and Paige versus the Young Bucks. This has been animosity between the Young, Paige has had animosity towards the Young Bucks for months. This is going to come to a head. The MJF versus Cody has been building since November 9th. And then, of course, Jon Moxley, Chris Jericho, all 7 matches this Sunday are going to have meaning and be worth watching. Now, Paige versus Orange Cassidy is a big coin toss. I don't know how this match is going to go. I don't know how comedic it's going to be, how serious it's going to be. I don't know where they're going to go with this. I don't see Pac losing this match. But, I could see Pac losing this match because it fuels his anger. So, I'm going to go on the fence here, and I'm going with Orange Cassidy winning by hook or by crook, maybe by some fluke pin. Only for Pac to beat the living piss out of him afterwards. Chris Statlander versus Nyla Rose. I don't get why Chris Statlander is getting a title match, even though I know she's the number 1 contender. But other than her and Big Swole staring down and her pointing at taking a finger and pointing at the championship 2 weeks ago, she really hasn't done enough to be a number 1 contender. But hey, that's fine. I say Chris Statlander should win it, even though I don't think they're going to take the title off of Nyla Rose just yet. If they do take it off of Nyla Rose, I wouldn't be surprised. Nyla Rose, to me, is better as somebody who chases the babyface champion than being the one to defeat babyface champions. She needs to be the one who drops the title and then goes on a rampage, killing everybody else before she tries to get another title shot, only to fail next time. And that's what I'm thinking. So I'm going with Chris Statlander. Sammy Guevara versus Darby Allin. Another coin toss for me. This one can go either way. This one is definitely one of those ones that it neither one's going to get hurt from this match because these guys are going to go out there and possibly go and try and steal the show. This one I'm on the fence for, so I'm going to go with Darby Allin. Sammy Guevara is not going to get hurt losing a match or two here when it's against somebody as over as Darby Allin. This isn't like Cedric Alexander looking like he's going to be pushed to be a nice mid-champion star, only to be beaten in stupid ways over and over and over again. This one is going to be one of those matches where I just feel like Darby Allin needs this win, and Sammy Guevara, who is a heel and part of a heel faction, is going to be able to eat a loss right now, and he'll get some wins later down the line. Sammy Guevara, to me, he's good, but he's not there yet. He's one of those guys who is going to be a future star of this company, whilst Darby Allin is a rising star right now. Dustin Rhodes versus Jake Hager, pretty simple. Jake Hager's going to win. It's his first official match. No doubt that he's going to beat Dustin Rhodes. There's no reason for Dustin to beat Jake Hager. Kenny Omega and Hangman Page versus the Young Bucks for the tag team titles. It's been a nice little title reign for Hangman and Kenny Omega, but it's going to be a super kick party, and the Young Bucks are going to win. And Hangman Page is going to play the blame game, blaming Kenny Omega for costing them the match because something's going to happen during the match that cost them the match. And he's also going to blame Kenny Omega for not being 100% going into this match because he had a 30-minute brutal Iron Man match right 3 days before the show. So Kenny Omega is going to be blamed for this, and Page is going to turn on him and the Young Bucks. Will he align with the Inner Circle? Will he align with anybody else? Most likely not. But Kenny Omega and Hangman Page are going to drop the titles to the Young Bucks. MJF versus Cody. This one, there's so many of these that I don't know. This one, honestly, could be, MJF has been a thorn in Cody's side this entire time. And this is going to be Cody Rhodes giving MJF the receipt he just so rightfully deserves. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Cody's going to put MJF over. I think MJF's winning this match. It makes sense. I mean, if Cody didn't put out that stipulation where if I don't beat Jericho, I'll never challenge for the AEW World Title again, this match, honestly, I could see Cody, if he won this match, going and challenging for the AEW World Title again, but that's not happening. MJF is a thorn in Cody's side. This is not going to be the only match these two have. By far. This is not even close to be the only match these two ever have together. Cody's winning this. Is not winning this. MJF is definitely winning this. I think Wardlow, something's going to happen. Arn Anderson's going to be distracted, and so is the referee. Wardlow's going to get involved, probably use the ring on Cody, hitting him with the ring to get him back for hitting him with the ring during the cage match. MJF's going to win, and Cody's going to come back reeling from a match that he knows he needed to win and he couldn't get the job done. It's going to give something for MJF to gloat about, and then the rematch will be at either on TV where Cody wins, and then the rubber match is at Double or Nothing. So I think this has got legs on it still. If Cody wins this match, this feud's over. MJF goes does something else. Cody goes and does something else. No, MJF is winning the first match in this feud. This is going to be a trilogy of matches ending at Double or Nothing. 1 year to the day one pay-per-view to the year that this company started the show. MJF wins, no doubt about it. Chris Jericho versus Jon Moxley. Jericho, it's been a good run. He's held the title since All Out when he beat Hangman Page in a match that at the time nobody cared about Hangman Page, but now Hangman Page is one of the most over guys in the company, which is going to make it great for when he actually turns heel. Now, Jon Moxley is winning this match, plain and simple. It's time for Jericho to drop the championship, and it's time for somebody else to be the champion. Where does Jon Moxley go from here? Where does Jericho go from here? Jon Moxley goes on to be your second ever AEW World Champion, to eventually meet up with Pac at Double or Nothing. So, as we go over this again, my thoughts are Pac over Orange Cassidy over Pac, Statlander over Nyla Rose, Darby Allin over Sammy Guevara, Hager over Dustin Rhodes, the Young Bucks over Kenny Omega and Hangman Page, MJF over Cody, because again, this feud is not going to be a one pay-per-view feud. There's no fucking way Cody is going to let this feud be over after Saturday. No way. And Chris Jericho will drop the title to Jon Moxley, and we will have our second ever world champion in AEW's history. But let me know in the comment section below what you think of Revolution's preview and predictions, what you thought of this episode of AEW show, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for NXT, Friday for SmackDown, Saturday for Revolution, Sunday for Unscripted, Monday for Raw, Tuesday for Week 4 of the XFL, and of course back to this on Wednesday. But until then, my name is Franz, and I'll see you guys later.